I Love Gorging Mochizuki-san is the title of a brand new anime series that was just announced. I Love Gorging Mochizuki-san is about Migato Mochizuki, someone who you would not assume by the way that she looks, as someone who has a gigantic appetite. That is her secret for everybody that barely knows her or first time seeing her. She will surprise you with her gigantic appetite. She loves to eat, and she has a gigantic appetite for that. Like, I like to eat too, but I don't think I would ever have a gigantic appetite like Migato. This is why you never should judge a person by the way they look. Somebody can look dainty, somebody can look beautiful, somebody can look cute, and they can surprise you by becoming somebody that you would not assume they are. Everybody is like that. We all try to hide our very, very important characteristics. Mikoto Mochizuki is like anyone else. Someone who has a characteristic that is not something that with somebody of her appearance would want to be known for. Look, having a gigantic appetite is not bad, but when it comes to how Migato presents herself, yeah, it doesn't look good on her. I would assume that as much as she eats and loves eating, she might have a high metabolism. She might have an ability to never to get fat. I'm assuming that she doesn't have the ability to get fat no matter how much she eats. I wonder how big of a appetite she really has. How gigantic is that appetite? Because I like to eat too. I do. I do like to eat. Not as much as I used to in my teenager years. I used to eat a lot in my teenager years, but that's when you have high metabolism. Like that's when you're like, wow, I'm hungry all the time. That's the that feeling. You've never gotten that feeling as a teenager, like, man, I'm always hungry, and then that goes away. Well, it seems to me that Migato Mochizuki has that all the time. It doesn't go away. uh, it's not a bad. It's not a bad characteristic. Like I wish I had her appetite. I don't have that appetite anymore. I don't have that ginormous appetite that I used to have in my early 20s and late teens. I don't have that. But for her to have this, I have no idea how old she is. She could be in her teenage years, and that's probably why she has a gigantic appetite. The thing with this anime series to me, it feels like we're going to get introduced to food, right? Since we're dealing with somebody who has a gigantic appetite, somebody who likes to eat, like I like to eat, we're going to deal with food that not a lot of people know about. Hopefully, we get to get introduced to new food that we have not heard about. Maybe foreign food as well, not just um, Asian cuisine. Um, I hope to see some Western cuisine, some like Italian food, stuff like that. Not just like Asian cuisine. Like I said, I don't mind seeing just Asian cuisine though. I would love to see like all forms of Asian cuisine since we're dealing with somebody who has a gigantic appetite, which like I have no idea how big of her appetite is. if it's gigantic, if like the title says, I love gorging. So she likes stuffing her face. I think that's what that means, right? Gorging. Like she likes putting food in her face, in her mouth, once it's in her face. She sees food and like that's her love right there. Food is her love. That's who she loves right there. That's love at first sight. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's her love at first sight. Food. Once she sees food, has to like, I gotta eat it, or like she grows hunger for it. Like I have no idea. She have big breakfasts since she has a gigantic appetite, or does she have normal breakfasts? She's a clerk. That's the thing. She's a clerk, so she's a sales clerk. So I'm assuming that whatever the place she works at sells, that is what most likely she eats in the series, since she's a sales clerk. And she could be, say, like in her 20s, maybe, because she does have a job, but she also can be in her late teens, like barely graduating high school, which I have no idea if like that whole thing, like in anime series where they tell you like, or like if you have a job as a high schooler or a school kid, but basically a high schooler, you're not supposed to. I'm not sure if that's real or not. I'm not sure that's real in this one, but since she has a job, I'm gonna go with her being in her early 20s. Her having this type of appetite, I would assume she is in her early 20s. And look, I wouldn't mind having a person who has this like characteristic about them, this thing that they have that seems to me that you can't control, where you have a gigantic appetite. If this is a thing that stays with you permanently, you got to have a great metabolism. You got to. Some people does some people just like to stuff their face because they're feeling some type of issue, some emotional issue. So they deal with their pain, their emotional pain with food. Like Migato just eats food because the joy of eating food. She likes to eat food and she has a gigantic appetite. So she's not doing it because she has some emotional drama in her life. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some emotional drama in her life, but the focal point of the series is her eating a lot, her having an unsatiable appetite, something that she can probably explain. Like, you don't know why you have something like a gigantic appetite, but it's not a curse. It's not something that should be frowned upon, but it's something that should be questioned. Like, what is what is the reason why she has this type of appetite? What is the reason? Is it just something that she has for whenever she was born? It was just born into her. Like she just couldn't stop um, having a gigantic appetite. It's not a recent thing. That's the thing I don't know. Is this appetite a recent thing? Which I don't know. Maybe we will get some flashbacks. Maybe we will get some information, maybe from her parents. We don't know. We have no idea. All we can go with is what they give us about this anime series, which is just about this sales clerk named Mikoto Mochizuki having a unique characteristic about her, something that nobody would assume she has, which is a gigantic appetite, where you're most likely going to see is like, wow, everybody's getting a normal size plate, whereas it has like one serving of food. Well, Migato is going to have a normal size plate or maybe a little bit larger plate with, say, 5 times the serving of food. That's that's going to be the running joke, right? People see her carry some massive serving of food and like they look at her and say, "Can she really fit that in that tiny little body?" This is what happens when you don't know the person. You look at the person and like, "Wow, are you really going to eat all that?" And then of course, her friends, people that know her, maybe her boss, are going to be like, "Yeah, that's Mikoto right there. That's her." I'm not surprised. They're not like, "Wow, I'm not surprised." They're not shocked. Everybody else that is barely meeting her is shocked. But her boss, her friends, people that know her generally, they're like, "Yep, that's just Migato. That's just her." Maybe they are also like another thing that is part of this anime series, or could be part of this anime series, is they give Migato some brand new food that she never heard about, and tries to see what's her opinion on it, since she likes to eat food and she has a big appetite. That might be one of the things that are part of this anime series, where she falls in love with whatever people tried her to get her to eat, and then she starts eating them on a daily basis, or just on that particular episode she eats it. um that one episode where she eats a horde of that thing that she gets introduced to, and then that's it. It's gonna be pretty fun. Anybody that likes to eat, anybody that likes to like see food in general, like food anime, has been a growing anime genre for some time now. These food anime genres has been something that has been growing for a while. Like it started with Food Wars, then there was Restaurant to Another World, which I have been watching as of recently. Great series. Sad not to see a second season. Hoping that there is a second season for that anime series. Of course, like I said, Food Wars. And then there's this one that had to deal with a maid that dealt with food as well. So, food anime series has been growing as a genre for anime. And this is just another one. People love to eat, people love food, people love to see what people eat. People love to see, okay, let's see how much she can eat. Right? Like we all have our own appetite, like our own set of appetites. We have our own like limits to how much we can eat. Like I bet you a lot of you, like in your teenage years, because it only happened in my teenage years where like I felt like I could eat anything. I could eat forever. And then that went away, and then it comes back, and then it runs away, and then it comes back. That's only happened throughout my entire teenage life and into my early 20s. That's only happened. It hasn't happened at all. I've never ever had the craving to eat again and again and again and again. And I shouldn't have that because I don't have that ability to keep the weight away, to keep the fat away or burn the fat as much or as fast as it could. I don't have that high metabolism. I don't have it anymore. So it's a good thing that I have a limit now. It comes with age, I guess. But I don't think I could ever be like Migato because I was like her, but I'm not like her anymore. I was like her, but I'm not anymore. All right, that's it for this video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace out.